Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Dark Hour 717. Today, actually, we're going to be getting back into some Star Citizen content. Recently, we have seen the release of the new straight-to-flyable ship, the Drake Golem. Now, this is really an interesting take on the solo mining gameplay. We're going to be taking a deep dive into this new ship and taking a good look at it and what it has to offer, as well as a comparison against other popular solo miner vessel, the Misc Prospector. But before we actually get into all the details, we're going to need to take just a moment to get a quick word from our sponsor. I want to take a moment just to say thank you to today's sponsor, Beam Eye Tracker. As gamers, you know that many of our games offer the availability of head or eye tracking within the game. It actually creates a whole nother level of interaction with your avatar or character within the game. These systems in general can cost upwards of $175 or even $300 to get the equipment to be able to take advantage of this. Be My Tracker actually offers that at a fraction of the cost. Available on the Steam store, you can get it for $29.99, and it uses a piece of equipment that many of us already have, or is very easy to get a hold of, and that's a simple webcam. By installing Be My Tracker, you actually turn your webcam into a piece of equipment that can give you the benefit of taking advantage of that interaction within the game. Be My Tracker is actually compatible with over 200 games, including Star Citizen and many, many more, including driving sims, flight sims, and FPS shooters. And with a very simple install and setup, Beam Eye Tracker is a very easy way to get into the game on a whole nother level. I actually use Beam Eye Tracker myself, and I love the interaction that it gives me within the game, especially in Star Citizen, and it's a great add-on to any of the games that you enjoy playing. So to check out Beam Eye Tracker, click the link in the description and it'll take you over to the Steam store where you can check that out. And I want to say thank you again to Beam Eye Tracker for sponsoring. And now let's return to the video. All right, so we're going to actually start by taking a look at the Drake Golem. This was actually dropped with patch 4.1, and it is classified as a mining vessel as well as a starter, and it's very small in size in comparison to the other mining ships. To really start, to be honest with you, this is one of the ugliest ships I've ever seen in Star Citizen. It is not pretty, so don't get your hopes up on aesthetics. But I would almost say that it looks like a Drake mule got into a threesome with a Drake cutter and an Argo tractor, and this was the unfortunate results. That being said, though, I've always been taught not to judge a book by its cover, so let's give it a fair chance and let's look at the specs on this little miner that could. The Drake Golem is classified as a mining ship, like I said, and also as a starter, and it's available in a new starter pack currently for $67.50 US, and that's because it's on special right now for its release, but its regular price for a starter pack is going to be $75 US. Now, as a standalone ship, you can actually get a ship upgrade to this, or get a standalone ship for $60 US. And this is actually the first comparison that we see with the Prospector, and that's the cost of the pledge. It's actually significantly lower than the Prospector itself, which at a standalone price is going to be $155 US. Now, that brings the mining gameplay to those people that choose to pledge at a far lower cost, which is always a benefit. As we look more into the Golem, though, we will see where some of the major differences are between the two ships, and it'll really raise the question whether those differences really are worth the lower cost of getting into the mining aspect of Star Citizen. Also, make sure you keep in mind that the Drake Golem won't be available for rent or purchase in-game for probably about 90 days. So looking at the specs, the Golem is built out as follows. It's classified as a size 2 ship. It's got a maximum crew of 1. Its SCM speed is going to be 203 meters per second with an SCM boost speed of 280 meters per second. Now, its navigational max speed is going to be 1,010 meters per second. It does have a hull HP of 17,300. Cargo capacity for this little miner is going to be 32 SCU of mined materials, and its measurements are going to be 15.5 meters long, 7 meters tall, and 5 meters wide. So it's really not much bigger than an Aurora. Now, its hydrogen fuel capacity is 24 SCU, and it has a quantum fuel tank of 0.95 SCU. Of course, all of its stock stats are on a smaller scale to the Prospector, with the exception of the cargo SCU. And this little ship actually packs an equal amount of cargo space for the mined materials as the Misc Prospector. Now, on the Drake Golem, it's actually held in a proprietary Drake ore pod, and there's 2 of those on board that each hold 16 SCU of material. If you take a look at the ship's other specs, looking at its defensive capabilities and engineering components, the Golem is equipped with one size 1 Bulwark Grade C industrial shield generator, one size 1 Fortitude Grade C industrial plant, one size 1 Thermax Grade C industrial cooler, and one size 1 Goliath industrial grade C quantum drive, which actually is the same quantum drive that's equipped out on the Prospectors. Now, it can make the trip from Microtech to ArcCorp in a single tank of quantum fuel, and it takes about 5 minutes and 2 seconds, and it will even have fuel to spare after that. So the Golem has the ability to pass through the jump gate as well with its jump drive, though fuel stops are definitely going to be needed at the Stanton Gateway before you proceed anywhere in Pyro. Now, its weapons loadouts are definitely not configured for offensive capabilities. These are absolutely defensive only to really buy you time until you can jump out of the area if you're approached by aggressors. This pretty much consists of 2 size 1 CF-117 Bulldog repeaters and 2 size 1 Spark 1 missiles. Again, this is a loadout that is going to mean you're not going to go out looking for a fight. This then brings us to its actual mining abilities. The Drake Golem is outfitted with a bespoke Pitman mining head. Now, that means that you cannot swap out the mining head, and this is the only one that you can use with this little ship. The Pitman, though, does have slots for 2 mining modules, which allows you the ability to enhance your mining laser. Now, this actually works very well, and I find for me the best add-on modules are the Torrent 3 and the Focus 3. These do very well for me in all my mining ships. In taking the Golem out now on a couple of mining runs, 2 to be exact, I've been able to refine about 1 million AUEC within a reasonable amount of time of gameplay. Now, you got to keep in mind that with patch 4.1, we are still seeing that the ground minables in Stanton are broken and cannot be interacted with as far as the mining laser goes. So really, your focus should be on the air and Halo if you're going to be staying in Stanton. Now, the Halo is actually the perfect little place for this ship to make its home. It's plentiful with Terranite, Bexlite, and Gold, which are definitely going to give you a nice little profit. And I find that actually the best area to do this is going to be the area between Hurston and ArcCorp. It also has the ease of use of hitting Arc L1 or Arc L2 to do your refining. Now, when you're taking the Golem over to Pyro, I found that Monox is actually the best area for the mining that I've found so far over there, and it is riddled with the same commodities as the Halo with the Terranite, Bexlite, and Gold. And you can even find some small deposits of Quantanium. And in the cases out in Monox where you do come across commonly rocks that are too big for the Golem to break, if you're in a mining party and have several Golems, you can easily break rocks that are big enough to be able to fill 2 or 3 Golems at a time just by stacking your lasers together. The biggest downfall to Pyro, though, is just being able to get the ore back after you refine it. As we all know, traveling through Pyro can always be a little bit sketchy, but the only place you're really going to be able to sell that stuff after you refine it is over in Stanton. Now, as for the sustainability of the Golem, it is no different than any other mining vessel. With the pods, currently, they can only be sold at refineries from being attached to the Golem itself. But replacement Drake pods are available for sale at refineries. Ideally, it'd be nice to see that eventually we would be able to go out with a party and have a cargo ship, do some mining, offload those pods to the cargo ship, and just install empty pods on board, and then be able to sell the stuff to the refiner from a cargo ship. Unfortunately, that gameplay is not available. So due to that, buying additional pods right now really does not make any sense and not something you really need to do. Now, as far as the mining function on the Golem, it is very easy to use. The Pitman mining laser is very smooth to operate, and it does very well with rocks that are actually labeled within its size. And to have the same 32 SCU capacity as what the Prospector has, you're really being able to make just as much money with Gollum as you would with the Prospector. Now, there are definitely some cons to the little ship in comparison to the Prospector. The first being the fact that there is no interior. Now, when you're in the Prospector, it's easy to get out of your seat, roam around, even be able to take your helmet off, rehydrate, eat a energy bar or something like that to keep your stats up and be able to continue mining. But with the Golem, you need to be more mindful. And when you're going back and forth to the refineries, you need to make sure you check your hydration and everything, because once you leave, you're not going to be able to hydrate without finding a safe place to land that has O2 or some type of HAB unit and be able to go inside and land there, drink or eat whatever you need to do. Now, the Prospector's interior also allows you to log in and out from your ship, which of course is a minor convenience, though not really taken advantage of by many. it is always nice to have there. If you want to switch servers, you can log out from your ship, change regions, get on a different server if you're not having much luck, and then continue on with your mission. After that, another big difference between the Golem and the Prospector is customization. The Golem with his bespoke mining head limits you to just that one option, and where with the Prospector, you can easily swap the mining head out for others like the Hofstad or the Helix, and these give you different options for power as well as module capabilities. And the fact that the Prospector can change these mining heads also introduces the fact that the Prospector probably has a little better luck breaking some rocks that the Golem may not be able to break. But again, with the Golem, if you're running in a party, it's really not too much of a concern, because if you stack your lasers, then it's very easy to break rocks that are even labeled as impossible. And again, that customizing ability that the Prospector has is just a little leg up that mining ship has over the Golem. Now, fuel is another difference between the two, though they have the same quantum drive. The Prospector, being larger, just naturally has a larger fuel capacity, which is actually twice what the Golem has. Though more refueling is needed, I don't necessarily see this as a real negative. It's basically a size comparison, but just be mindful before taking off to top off the tanks once you've made a few trips. Now, with the build out of the Golem and the cost comparison to the Prospector, the real question comes to mind as to whether it's worth it. Can the Golem get you into the mining gameplay and not be missing too much out from what you would have if you had the Prospector? In my personal opinion, I definitely say it absolutely is worth the cost difference. At nearly a third of the cost, the minor differences between the two ships should really not be a problem and is easily overlooked. Now, I've been using the Golem solo as well as in a mining party, and I've found that the Drake miner is easy to fly, very responsive as far as its controls go, and it's actually a joy. It has more than adequate speed and mining capabilities that really make earning a profit easy, and being able to bring that at a lower cost to new players or people who have been wanting to do mining without having to pay for a Prospector is a great thing to see. So in this case, I would absolutely say don't judge a book by its cover, because as ugly as the ship is, it does what it does extremely well. I would say anyone that's interested in getting into the mining gameplay, this is definitely a ship I could highly recommend. And to be able to grab a Drake Golem, to get in, get familiar with it, and start making some AUEC in there, and then you can always move up to larger ships that if you want. It does make just a great entry-level ship into this gameplay loop. But I definitely want to know what you guys think. If you guys have a Golem, how you're enjoying it, what you think of it, and if you're enjoying it as much as I am, just leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. And remember, if you like this kind of content, please hit the like and subscribe button. And know I appreciate you guys checking out the video, and catch our Star Citizen streams every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can catch that here on this channel or over on Twitch at Dark Hour 717, and keep an eye out as well as future Star Citizen content's going to be coming out for new players getting in, such as the Starter Ship of 2025 guide, as well as the spawn points of Star Citizen when you first get in with an account. If you are thinking about getting into Star Citizen, use that referral code in the description. It'll help get you an extra 5,000 AUEC when you sign up with a new account. And always feel free to visit our Discord. We always enjoy helping out new players figure out how to get about and do different things in the game. But until next time, be good to each other and stay safe out there. And hopefully we will see you guys out there in the verse.